The Middle Ages. You probably picture knights in shining armor, pricking across the plain, seeking the Holy Grail, dying noble deaths. Black Plague, crazy non-standard Elizabethan spellings. No, the Middle Ages span from 40 to 50 years of age, depending on how long you think you'll live. Will you make it to 80, maybe 100? Oops. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the average life expectancy for women and men hovers around 80.5 and 75.1. If you're more than 40, you're on the downside, as in over the hill, sliding toward the end, continually reaching retirement, where your body will fail you and make all that 401k minimum required distribution ripe for medical industry fleecing. Here, with his icebreaker for the presentation mastery pathway, Toastmaster Barry McCann wants to share his thoughts on his post-middle age and acquaint you with his journey, which has recently taken some unexpected and expected turns. Welcome, Toastmaster Barry.
You're muted, Barry.
Well, that's awkward. Hi, I'm Barry, and I'm, you might think I'm about to say addict, and you might be right. This fall, this summer, everything seemed to be going really well. The band was playing a lot. I was getting my chops back in shape. I was drinking a lot of water. And I was like, yeah, I am finally hydrated. This is wonderful. It was a little bit irritating to get muscle cramps there in the third or fourth set when I was playing, but I figured I just needed more magnesium, right? And I had lost weight. I lost like 15, 20 pounds. I'd never been able to do that before. So maybe there's something good going on. And I should be able to eat whatever I want because I lost weight, right? And then magically, I didn't need my glasses anymore. My vision changed back. I didn't need my glasses. Just throw those away. This is great. But then I couldn't see screens. My vision was blurry, like reading screens close up. And I thought, maybe it was a little strange that I lost so much weight. And, this funny thing, I've been drinking soda, like really big sodas and cherry lemonade slushies. And I never had done that before. So I thought, I'll just go ahead and schedule an appointment. It's been 3 years since my annual exam. Right? My annual 3-year exam. I tried to convince the doctor to take my blood beforehand so I didn't have to go back for a follow-up, but she made me come in first. They drew blood, and then a couple of days later, one of the nurses called me and they said they had my test results. My A1C was 11.5. The top value for A1C is 6.5. My glucose was 421. If you know anything about blood sugar, you really shouldn't be over 99 in the morning, and you shouldn't be any more than maybe 130, 140 at the most during the day after you eat, maybe an hour after you eat. Hi, I'm Barry McCann, and I was a walking, uncontrolled diabetic. Now, it doesn't seem like I would fit the profile of a diabetic, because you have this impression of someone who may be sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and ice cream and sedentary and not doing anything. But it can happen. That very day, as soon as I got off the phone, I stopped eating sugar. I stopped eating bread. I stopped eating pasta. I bought MyFitnessPal for my phone. I've tracked every calorie, every macro, every nutritional value since that day. I have avoided anything that's more than maybe 35 on the glycemic index. And I bought a glucometer, and I started tracking where I was every morning, just about. And I went back to the gym for the first time since COVID, I guess, right? 6 days before I went to see my doctor, I had that much time to get my glucose down, because I knew if I walked in the door after having a glucose reading of 421, she was going to put me on some serious medication. And I didn't want that, because I had a coworker and he didn't look so great on his medication. Did not work well for him. In 6 days, I lowered my glucose from 421 to 137, just through diet and exercise. Now, I know a lot more these days. I know that glycemic index is not a really good indicator for how you eat foods, because all it does is tell you how fast your body can digest that food. What really is important is glycemic load, which takes into account the amount of calories and the carbohydrates that are associated with that food. Surprisingly, for instance, watermelon is very high on the glycemic index, but the glycemic load is actually very low, because there are just not that many carbohydrates in a serving of watermelon, even though it has a lot of natural sugars in it. In fact, all fruits are fairly high on the glycemic index, but fairly low on glycemic load, because they don't digest that quickly. So it's not a big deal. Orange juice is a big deal. An orange is not a big deal. I can show you my my little chart that I have with all my readings, just so that I can, be proud of it. But I can't find the file. My reading today was 101. My reading yesterday, 94. So I think I'm on the right track. And I'm reading books that Hay and Craig gave me about plant-based protein. You have to do a little more research on that stuff. On August 29th, my father passed at age 90. When I was younger, I was mad at him, because I thought that he didn't take enough personal risk in his life. I thought that he played it safe. A couple of years ago, Lydia, my daughter, made a video and asked the question of her participants, including my father and my mother, what made them happy? And I was really surprised that my father said what made him happy was knowing that his family was okay. And that really what brought him joy was his children. I had never really heard him say that before. In October, in the middle of October, I'll be traveling to Ohio to his interment. Hi, I'm Barry. And I have to take care of myself so that I can teach my daughter and stepchildren something.